wouldn't be mentioning this if it wasn't for the fact that we have actually seen situations where these random ass Twitter accounts actually know something. So there's like random accounts on Threads that I'm seeing, and again, the WNBA players are way too close when it comes to just being with fans or talking with fans, and there is a rumor now, and it is that the CBA is ready to go. It's ready to go. The players have their latest proposal.
The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement is not just close anymore. It is practically sitting on the table waiting for a signature, and the entire league is about to change forever. Random accounts on social media have been leaking information weeks before official sources confirm anything, and their track record is actually terrifying when you look at the history. The latest player proposal has moved significantly closer to what the league was asking for, and that shift alone tells you everything about how serious both sides are right now. This is not another negotiation standoff that fizzles out. The silence from key figures on both sides has been deafening, and in sports, that silence always means something enormous is coming.
And it's a proposal that's very likely to get done. So it's not. So obviously they're coming back. They're not just accepting. I don't think they're accepting the league's proposal from, again, the rumor. But the rumor is that it's a lot closer to the league's proposal than some of these fans that don't like basketball would kind of hope for, and some of the players would hope for. That being said, there's no actual truth to this. It's just one of those really weird things where it's like Threads knew Breanna Stewart had left the Fever a week before it had happened. I was getting random emails from people being like, look at this on Threads. And this was before Caitlin Clark came back from injury. This is literally Breanna Stewart.
The players did not strike during All-Star Weekend, and that decision was not accidental. It was a calculated, strategic move that changed the entire energy of these negotiations overnight. Everyone in media circles was fully expecting a dramatic statement, an inflatable rat, some kind of walkout gesture that would blow the whole thing into a public war. Nothing happened, and that restraint was louder than any protest ever could have been, because it signaled that the Players Association was locked in on getting a real deal done. When the side that has the most to lose publicly chooses silence over spectacle, it means they already believe they are winning at the negotiating table behind closed doors.
On Blue Sky at the time that were that actually were in the know. And the scariest part is the Threads is literally just a Caitlin Clark. The WNBA Threads is just a Caitlin Clark hate group. It's actually mental. It's actually mental. It's literally just, it's not, they're not, I don't even think they're fans of other players. It's literally just a Caitlin Clark hate group. But even without that being said, the reality is the WNBA didn't strike at All-Star Weekend. So that pretty much means that they're taking this somewhat seriously, because from what I've heard in media circles,
the social media account for the Players Association has been operating like it is trying to burn the whole league down, while the actual players are trying to build something lasting. There is a complete disconnect between what the athletes want, which is a deal, stability, and a season, and what the official account keeps posting into the timeline every single day. The Valentine's Day post asking for a proposal that pays players was posted at the exact moment the ball was already sitting in the players' court to submit their own offer. Whoever is running that account is responsible for a massive percentage of the negativity and confusion surrounding these negotiations, and the players deserve better representation than that.
So that pretty much means that they're taking this somewhat seriously, because from what I've heard in media circles, people were fully expecting the players at All-Star Weekend to stage a strike. People were fully expecting the players to bring out the inflatable rat or do something. Make some sort of statement that they were striking over the weekend. That was the expectation, was that the players were going to strike or do something huge during All-Star Weekend, because it seems like the WNBPA social media and the WNBPA are the
Anonymous accounts on platforms like Threads have broken real WNBA news days and sometimes weeks before any official source has confirmed a single word of it publicly. The departure of DeWanna Bonner from Indiana was being discussed in those online communities a full week before any credible journalist or official team statement acknowledged it happened. That kind of track record transforms what looks like fan chatter into something that front offices and agents are almost certainly paying very close attention to right now. When the loudest and most accurate leaks are coming from informal digital communities rather than official channels, it tells you that insider access inside this league is extraordinarily wide.
lose their source of income, but like change their job title so that they're no longer in charge of that, because whoever's in charge of the WNBPA's Instagram is actually like the reason for 75% of the negativity around the PA. It is the Instagram. Because obviously we've been talking about some of the stuff they've been posting recently, like the Valentine's Day things, like we want a proposal that pays the players too. I'm like, the ball's in your fucking court. Like, it's a negotiation. The ball's in your court. You can put up every fucking proposal you want to the league. Like, oh, it's mad.
The prioritization rule inside this new CBA is one of the most significant and underreported elements that will reshape how teams build rosters and run training camps going forward. The rule is not tied to when training camp starts. It is tied to a hard calendar date of May 1st, which is a completely different and much more player-friendly framework. That distinction means a large number of established WNBA players can skip early training camp entirely without penalty if they are still finishing overseas professional commitments. Veterans who have been playing at a high level internationally all winter are not going to lose anything by arriving late. They are already in shape and ready to compete.
Number of days. Like, they don't have, oh, you know, we can sit back on this for another 2 weeks. I still say this. I think you could rush it all. If you start the season if you get everything sorted by the 1st of March, I think you can start the season on time. It'll be carnage, but I think by the 1st of March, it can be done. Because I think it just means that things have to be done immediately. So I would say more than likely, if it is like closer to the 1st of March, like the league's gonna have to establish the rules for. The league's gonna have to establish multiple different sets of rules for the expansion draft.
If the CBA gets finalized by March 1st, the league can still start the season on time, and everything that follows, expansion drafts, free agency, full schedules, falls into place rapidly. The front offices that are organized and have done their homework already know exactly what moves they want to make the moment the agreement is officially announced and signed. The real bottleneck has never been the logistics of free agency or the expansion draft. Those processes are straightforward when there's a clear framework in place to operate within. Every day of delay beyond March 1st creates compounding pressure on training camp timelines, roster decisions, and the ability to put a competitive product on the floor opening night. The WNBA expansion draft process has already exposed some glaring problems with how certain front offices evaluate and prioritize talent when they are given the chance to make unilateral decisions. There were selections made that left the entire basketball community genuinely confused. Players averaging 6 points per game being chosen over demonstrably superior options available in the pool. Those kinds of decisions do not happen because of bad luck or thin scouting departments. They happen because of pre-existing relationships between coaches and general managers overriding performance data. The WNBA cannot afford to let roster construction become a vehicle for organizational politics when the goal right now should be putting the most competitive version of the league on display. This CBA is not just about salary increases or per diem bumps. It is a foundational document that will define player rights, travel standards, and off-season structure for years to come.
The players who fought hardest for these terms are not just negotiating for themselves, they are setting precedents that will benefit athletes who have not even entered the league yet. Travel standards alone represent a quality of life issue that affects player health, performance consistency, and the ability to compete at the elite level that the league is now marketing. When the WNBA markets itself as a premier product, but the infrastructure behind it does not match that standard, the credibility gap becomes a recruitment problem for the next generation of stars. The announcement that is coming is going to trigger an immediate cascade of events that the entire league has been on hold waiting to activate for months longer than anyone expected. Free agency windows will open, expansion draft procedures will be formalized, full season schedules will be distributed, and training camp invitations will go out essentially all at once. Teams that have been operating in planning paralysis because of CBA uncertainty will suddenly have clarity to make decisions on contracts, trades, and roster construction simultaneously. The organizations that have prepared contingency plans for multiple CBA scenarios are going to have a massive competitive advantage over the ones that were waiting to see what happened first. The weight of what this agreement represents goes far beyond one season or one set of financial terms. It is proof that collective action in women's sports produces real structural change. The players held firm through months of public pressure, social media warfare, and constant speculation without fracturing into factions or letting the negotiations become a public spectacle. That level of discipline and strategic coordination from the Players Association is exactly the kind of maturity that transforms a good league into a great one over a long period of time. The WNBA is not surviving a difficult moment right now. It is arriving at the beginning of what might genuinely be the most important and exciting era in the history of the sport.